Good morning, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo Day. And I have two lovely guests with me this morning that I'm very excited. It's Courtney and Bryce with Trilogie. They are going to be our heroes for today because you are on high demand. Tell everybody how you guys are doing.
Good. Very good.
Yeah. So I know you guys, and I know Bryce because we're really great friends. But for those who don't know you guys, I want you all, both of you guys, to introduce yourself. And who's Bryce and who's Courtney?
Courtney, I'll let you go first. Ladies first.
Well, thank you. I am Courtnay Bradely. I am founder and chief purpose officer at Trilogie. And of course, my computer just jumped around and did something super weird, so I couldn't see you guys. So I'm founder and chief purpose officer at Trilogie. I'm a little bit crazy, a little bit technology challenged today, but I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for saying yes. Y'all could have been like, nah, I got stuff I got to do. I ain't got time for you.
No, absolutely not. This is fun.
Well, I'm Bryce Reese, and I work on Courtney's team. I'm a workspace strategist, and I partner with our architect and design partners throughout KC or wherever our clients are.
That's cool. You guys both are in Trilogie all the time. You see each other, you work closely together. I love you guys' job because it allows you both to be creative. Courtney, I want you to talk about what made you start Trilogie. Like what in you was like, all right, I'm just going to start my own business, because that within itself is a lot. And then why workspace, why architect, why design and creativity, and to help other businesses? What brought you to that vision ultimately?
So I was already in the industry before I started Trilogie, and I just kind of had a different vision for how I wanted to do things, as opposed to where I was working. I mean, I learned so much from them, and I credit them for helping me get to where I'm at, because if I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have learned anything about the furniture industry and what we do. But over the last 11 years now, we'll celebrate 11 years in July. It's really morphed to be more for me, more than just about the furniture that we're providing and helping organizations with, but it's about the environment that we're creating for people. We spend a lot of time in offices, not as of lately, but, normally you spend a lot of time in a workspace, or even, we call them life spaces, because we can also help organizations like coffee, restaurant industry, schools, things like that. So it's anywhere really outside of your home where you're experiencing any bit of furniture. And it's really become, my tagline and what I always tell people is that I myself and Trilogie is obsessed with helping people create kick-ass spaces where people are going to thrive. Did that answer your question? Uh-oh, there goes the sound again. Now I can't hear you guys.
Oh, I think she's muted.
Oh, sorry about that. No, that was great. Bryce, what about you? I know that you just recently joined Trilogie, but you've always I think you've just always had a feel for putting things together. I don't know. I won't answer for you, but tell people who you are and what in you loves creativity, bringing joy to people in life spaces. I like that term, by the way, life spaces.
Yeah, so I actually got to work with Courtney prior to coming on board as well. And I was in more of a role where I was managing a creative team on behalf of my clients. And I didn't want to, when I knew I wanted to try a new job, I just didn't know that I wanted to keep my creativity that much. And when the opportunity came along and I begged Courtney to let me be a part of her team, she provided me with the ability to kind of create my own role. And within that, I knew I wanted to do more sales and be client facing, but I also didn't want to lose the creative aspect of everything that I had learned in my last role. So this role where I'm working with clients and selling things, but also it's more of a long-term partnership, because we have clients that have been with Courtney for 10 plus years that we still work with. So a little bit about me is I came from, after college at KU, of course, Rock Chalk. I went into outside sales with a world-renowned company that focuses on payroll and HR services. That I worked for like 3-4 years and then jumped into a new role that was completely different. And now I've joined Trilogie's team, which I'm doing something completely different as well. And it really just depends on the day. I feel like I do something different every day, depending on what our clients' needs are and where they're at, etc.
That's really dope. Well, you guys make a great team. I myself have taken advantage of y'all's services because currently we are all at home and everybody's world is literally completely different. And it looks like it's going to continue to be this way for the remaining of the year, to say the least. Whether people are, going to transition back into the office, whether people are going to kind of do the temporarily rotation thing in corporate life, or just even for you guys, but if you're a bigger team than 10, you're probably going to spend more time at home. So Courtney, I want you to talk about, for one, we said for so long, people can't work from home, right? And now, yeah. And now, and we're used to getting sick, right? Maybe working from home for about 2 days or a week, or depending on the circumstances. But this has really like stretched a lot of people thin. And so it's a lot to take on because people were going to the office and getting their monitors and putting them in the car, taking them
right. Literally.
Yeah, it's been a lot happening. So talk about just the adjustment of just like working from home.
Well, I think you touched on a good point where everyone is used to maybe taking a day. You have a sick kid maybe, and you're staying home with them, and you were able to get some work done, and or spring break happened, or summer, just lighter hours, things like that. To do it periodically for short bursts of time is much different than what we were all thrust into, at the end of March, and I joke because I have the ability that I've been working from home a little bit for years now, but even myself, it's a change. And so there's a couple different aspects of it. There's the workload and being able to handle what you're doing, but not be working 24/7. There's the getting your mindset into, I need to go get work stuff done. And then there's the mental aspect of it. I don't like the fact that I feel chained to my computer and chained. I like to have digital breaks. Like I have to get off social media for a little bit. I have to, every time my phone goes off, I'm like, so I'll put it on do not disturb. So just being tied to that much technology for me is a struggle. So, we talk about that, you were, a guest on our work from home webinar that we did. And I talked a lot about the mental aspect of it and how to kind of, manage that in this time. Yeah. But I don't see, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Like you said, also many companies, especially government organizations said, we can't work from home. Our model doesn't allow anyone to work from home. That has changed. It has been proven that it absolutely can happen. So I do believe that from here on out, there will be more companies that are doing it. I don't know that anyone knows exactly what that still looks like in the future. Will the employer be responsible for setting up an office, a workspace, or the tools and the things necessary to be even more efficient at home? And if you have that workplace culture that you built within your organization and your physical office space that you had, how do you transition that and make sure that the people who are working remotely have that culture and engagement as well?
For sure. You touched on a lot, and that was super great. I think that people's productivity levels are a little different. It's like almost sleeping in a new bed when you travel. It's the thing that comes to my mind, because I've been listening to so many things. I've even changed my sleeping routine since I've been at home more. I'm putting my business out there, but it's okay. I've downloaded this app called Breathe. And it's been amazing. I'm like, wow, like I'm waking up like a new woman just every single day, like on the air. But it's because you're under more anxiety. And I just feel like we're just so accustomed to moving that we don't even realize sleeping in our new office or working in our new office has become like a lot, but you're not really realizing that until the end of the day. And you're like, man, why am I tired? Like my neck hurts. Like, yeah, like why am I got like something going on right here, my lower back.
I call it stress neck.
Yes. And so a lot of people, Bryce, talk about, well, my office doesn't feel at home, or doesn't feel like my typical workspace, or I'm working in the kitchen one morning and then I move over to the living room the next day. So it's like the inconsistency of just like how to be productive is no longer really there mentally. So what are some things you have to contribute to that?
Well, Courtney's the expert on this, and she's given a few webinars, but really blocking off your schedule. And Courtney, I'll let you take that one, just because I know that you're really passionate about like your schedule, but I'll let you take that.
Okay.
Time blocking. I don't want to say I'm not perfect at it. I will admit that, but time blocking, just really structure your day where, okay, I'm going to take this block of time and this is what I'm working on. And once that block of time is over, you move on to the next thing that's on your block. If you've ever, I talk about this on my webinar, but Michael Hyatt, if you go to his website, I think it's michaelhyatt.com, and he talks about an ideal week. So if you go check that out, it talks about time blocking and how to structure your ideal week to get the things that are most important to you done, and then fill in everywhere else the other things that you need to be responsible for and need to get done. But it helps me at least not get stuck in my inbox. That used to happen a lot, is I would really live in my inbox, and you get distracted by all the emails that are coming in and things like that. So it really helped me structure when to work on like administrative things, and when to work on creative things, and when to work on personal things, and all those different aspects of life.
Yeah, so I downloaded a lot of those apps that you talked about in your webinar.
I have no willpower either. So like with that Freedom app is awesome because it blocks all the websites you don't need to be going to when you need to be focusing.
That's true, which is very convicting because it shows you when you have blockers how much you're strolling, checking email, doing all those different things. I know that you gave me, or I received, the Work From Home 101. A lot of tips and takeaways. One of them was designated workspace. So do one of you guys want a team tag on that?
Bryce, you can take that one.
Sure. So, and Courtney's talked about this one also, so I'll kind of go with what I've learned from her, is if you're working in somewhere like your dining room, or you're pull up at the bar in your kitchen, you want to be able to put everything away at night, so that way you're not tempted to work at night. I know myself, if I see my computer lying up, or my computer's like open in the browser, I'm like, oh, I can check that email, or I can respond and do a few things on my to-do list, which is great for your employer and for your productivity, but it's also detrimental to your mental, your mental relaxation at night and kind of unplugging, because we are all in one spot. I mean, you're in your house, so you have to kind of separate yourself from your work, which I found to be really important. Did I miss anything, Courtney?
No, you did an excellent job. I'm looking at Casey's comment. I feel tied to my inbox these days. Great ideas. Casey Drake, you're such a fan.
Yeah, you guys talked about using things to build that office. So are people making Office Depot trips? What are people doing to accommodate things what are people using? That's what I'm really wanting to know, because I know you guys get those questions and those things as well.
Well, we did. I did a fun video with one of my stepchildren. The thing for us is we are of course able to provide tools for people. We've got height adjustable desks, we've got keyboard trays, monitor arms, chairs, everything that you would need to be perfectly ergonomic. We have, and we are able to provide. However, we also understand that this is a weird time, and that people might not want to spend the kind of money and the investment that it would take to get all of those tools. So and I am very mindful and respectful of people's budgets and the ability to, spend that money, or they want to, hold on to it because the future is a little uncertain right now. So we put out a little video that just showed how to hack ergonomics in your house or your apartment or wherever you're living in order to get yourself in a more ergonomic position, but just using things around the house. So you can stack up. Kiona, do you have that little ergonomic sheet? I don't know if you can like flash that up.
Yeah, I do. So I'm so organized. I'm such a nerd.
But it's helpful. That thing shows you how to get into the right position and talks about all the different things, like getting your monitor up to a certain eye level, where to have your arms at a 90-degree angle when you're keying and things like that. So, if you search back through our social, there's that video. And but we do talk about ways that you can use things from home. And then, of course, if you need tools and products, you can, of course, go to, an office supply store. We would like to hope that you would shop local with people like us or other people in our industry who are doing similar things. So,
yeah, I'm reading some of it. Adjust your seat. You need to have at least 2 clearance between the back of your knees and the front of your seat. Chairs recline tension. Lean back and relax in your chair to provide full support for your upper body. Yeah, because my back's been hurting. I have y'all's chair, but before y'all's chair, my back was hurting. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work. Just sitting on the couch all day, because even sitting on the couch is not good. You're losing, like you talked about, you're losing walking from your car to lunch, or going down, the hallway, or, going, I don't know, walking, doing something, like anything you can think of. It's like, it's gone.
It is amazing. Like you don't have the kind of just the walking, just the general walking that you don't have anymore because you are just inside your house or around your house or whatever. So,
yeah. What would you have to say about kind of just the transition now to, and then Bryce, I want to get to like some or Courtney, some things that, maybe people can put or they're using around their house, but like you said, shop local, talk about the loaner furniture. I don't want to forget to talk about that. But before I do that, kind of talk about what should people's mindset be? Because now we've been at home now for almost 2 months, almost. And so, some people are going to have to transition back into the office temporarily, some permanently. I'm not for sure. But what should what are some mental takeaways when it comes to workspace, productivity, and say if you're going to have to do both?
Right. So I would say it was the very last thing in my work from home webinar is you're going to have to be flexible. This is, I think we've been under, quarantine or stay at home orders, like whatever we want to call it, for a while now. And I think the tension of it is starting to show, and then you've got people protesting because they want to go back to work. You have people who still don't want to go back to work. I understand both sides. So I think that we all just need to give everyone a little bit of grace. Our employers, because they don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking to other employers and leaders that I know and other business owners. Well, how are you going to do it when you go back and things like that? This is an unprecedented time, and that word is probably definitely overused right now, but it is. None of us have ever experienced anything like this. Not a single person on this planet. So I think that we all need to be flexible and just understand that it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be a little bit difficult. We're not maybe going to be as productive because we are maybe spending, 15 hours in the office now and the rest of the time at home, or things like that. So I just think just breathe and keep that flexibility in mind when we are making those transitions back. I think, with the restaurant industry, I've seen parameters where, they're not going to be able to have as many people by, I think what's the 10-10-10 rule? So, I mean, it's just going to be different. It's going to be different for a little while. We don't even know how long. So everyone just needs to take a deep breath and understand that it's changed a little bit, but we're all going to get through it as best we can.
Bryce, what typically when you go and visit live spaces, what are you doing? What are you telling individuals based on the life space that they're trying to reconstruct? And what are some of your recommendations to bring life into that business?
So pre-coronavirus, we like more open where people can collaborate if that's the line of work that they're in. But we kind of walk through and hear what business owners want from their people and hear what their employees want from their workspace. And based on what they're doing, we can kind of tailor workspaces to what people need. So you're not going to have a graphic designer in a collaborative space because that just doesn't make sense. They need to focus on what they're doing and be creative and not be distracted by their coworkers. But now we're going into a new phase where those collaborative spaces aren't going to be something that we can really do at this point yet. Mm-hmm. I think eventually we'll get back to where we can use it. It's just going to take time. So like the cafeteria in your workspace, that's going to have to change. Using the restrooms, using water fountains, things that people touch, even just walking towards one other person in the hallway. It's things that are going to have to change for right now. So we're kind of pivoting our business into how are we going to help these people, business owners at this point, get back to work when their number one priority is keeping their employees safe and healthy. So tips and tricks on that are things that we are working on currently. Cleanliness protocols, things like that. But mainly it comes down to good leadership is being transparent with your employees. Like you're working on it, you're figuring it out. Let your employees know that you're doing your best and they'll take that as, okay, my employer cares about me, and you're growing company culture in that instance right there.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably overly transparent. We're probably like, we don't want to know that much.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a vulnerable time, especially now, because you're letting people into your bedroom. Right. That's like all these analogies keep coming to my head, but that's basically what you're doing, and you're stripping away, or you're getting ready to take away, as you guys mentioned, how you're going to pivot, which is another word that's been overused a lot, but how you guys are going to restructure, with social distancing. I mean, you can't have 12 packed out people in the conference room and try to apply social distancing, especially if it's not a big, huge, life space that people can accommodate and feel comfortable.
It's interesting that you say that, because so for years and years and years, real estate is expensive. And the trend has been to pack as many people in to a space as possible, right? So workstations and physical workspace for your just individual employees has gotten smaller and smaller. Technology has played a part in that. In the 90s, we had big, huge monitors. We don't have those things anymore. Everyone's got a computer in their pocket. So along came benching, to where you have people, in call centers, they've got typically a 4 foot wide desktop that they're sitting at. And then the next person is, just a couple feet away. So what we're seeing is that I don't know that people are just going to go back in now and all of a sudden they're going to reconfigure their offices and they're not going to be able to accommodate as many people. I think what's going to happen is that the transition of, hey, we're going to have this half of the company work from home for these 2 weeks, and then we're going to transition, and these other people go, and then so that you can sit people, you're going to have 3 empty desks between each person, and things like that. Screens, I think the shields that are going up everywhere, you've probably seen them when you go to the grocery store. Walmart's got them up, the gas stations got them up, everybody has them. We're starting to see that, if you do have a benching system that was all, just open, you might be putting these screens every, to delineate space a little bit. But that's a way that kind of our industry is pivoting, is to play a role in providing the things that are going to help keep us safe now, and help the spread of germs and things like that. Yeah.
Do you think that good protocol, like I said, nobody's ever experienced anything like this, but just, before you go into the office, temperatures, like you say, somebody contracted to, clean probably every other day, if not every day.
Yeah. And it goes to, I was just thinking about it before we were on this call, is about how, everyone has probably a cleaning crew or someone designated in their office, or they, rotate who's cleaning and everything. But to actually deep clean and to really like, that's probably not been happening on a regular basis. And so it's just really weird to think of what the protocol for just the cleaning alone is going to be like. So I'm interested in learning more about that myself.
Yeah, talk to us about the needs of your clients now. I know you guys both brushed a little bit over, just helping them walk through the return to their offices. But in a perfect world, right, like a normal day, I should say, what is Courtney doing? What is Bryce told us a little bit about what he's doing when he's talking to clients. So what does a typical flow look like at the office? And by the way, they have a beautiful office.
Oh. Thank you. I haven't seen it in 6 weeks. Bryce and Katie live way closer. And so they've been periodically, one or the other will go and I believe check things out and make sure we're all, no problems there. But I have not been there since March. So it's a little weird.
Yeah.
So the flow for us right now is, us personally, is we still have client projects that we had been working on, really from before this started. And so we're really just still in the throes of helping those projects get completed as scheduled. And those are things that are lasting all the way through the summer. So we're really focused on taking care of those clients. We have a perfect project guarantee and that we, deliver on time, on budget. And if there's any sort of issues, they're all taken care of before the client moves in. And it's been a little challenging with this whole thing because there's been tons of shipping delays. So we're just helping to keep our clients on track, again, on budget and things like that. But as we morph into, this is all business that we had lined up. As we morph into, fall and winter, I think it's going to be more of I'm going to use the word pivot to help our clients navigate what this looks like on their end. So it might be doing some reconfigures. It might be helping them with that transition of, okay, we are going to go ahead and go full throttle on the ability to work remotely.
Yeah.
We're going to do a combination of both. And we may be helping those employers come up with packages to, roll out to their people so that they are, ergonomically correct in their home office and, not experience any pain or issues there, and they're able to be productive and things like that. So I don't know what that looks like. We've come up with a couple of small packages for employers, and just how that's going to roll out on a grand plan, I do not know yet.
Yeah. What are some of you guys' clients? I know, like Bryce told me a little bit, libraries, schools. What are some other corporate? Yeah. What is the most fun project that you guys have both done together? Like, oh my God, like, this has been a lot of fun.
Since I've been there, the Tonganoxie Library was a lot of fun. That was like the very first project that I got to like see Courtney work on from beginning to finish. And it just finished, like a month or 2 months ago?
So I feel really bad for them because they were open for 1 week and they haven't even had their grand opening yet. That one actually was a lot of fun. I have a lot of amazing clients. That one meant a whole lot to me because it's in the community that I live in. And I've only lived in Tonganoxie for a few years now. But it was really awesome to be able to be a part of something where, I'm in that community, and to see how excited the community was for it to come together. So that was awesome for me. It was an amazing project. So, but all of our projects are fun. Like Bryce said, every single project is different. Even, we've had a client for CrossFirst Bank has been a client, for all 11 years we've been in business, and every project with them is still a ton of fun. We've grown to be friends over these years. And so it's been awesome.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of schools right now. Everyone's redoing schools.
Yes. Yep. Summer is the time to redo schools.
Yeah. So everybody's trying to get a new feel for students. I have a question for you guys, and it's related to it's related to equity, and it's related to just this divide, right? Like, so we have a lot of adaptive, I would say, home spaces, right? You can only be so productive in your life space because you come from your home space. So ultimately, you know, you're living you live great at home, but if you don't have those home environments or things that trigger, even for kids, you know, good working mobility and things of that nature. How do you think companies like Trilogie and across, you know, like more so like with schools, right? It starts there because kids spend a lot of time there.
Absolutely.
But even just for like adults who maybe that's not their reality, structure that in a way to people feel empowered to be the best selves within those environments. Or because, you know, not a lot of people can be like, hey, Bryce, you know, I got this cool space and I need you to come hook it up. You know, a lot of people don't come from that. And so on the flip side, like we're seeing with schools, like the digital divide, or like now with video conferencing, we're seeing more of like homes that are not really up to speed to be able to handle a work from home situation. So what are you guys' thoughts about that? I know it's a very broad question, but no right or wrong answer, no pressure.
No. I think that you're absolutely correct that there are some things that we can do to help kind of narrow that gap, I guess. And it's a good question. I don't know. I'm gonna talk about something that's not officially launched yet, but
Come on, spill the beans, Courtney.
Here's the big announcement. So it's been a dream of mine to start a foundation or a nonprofit that would be able to help other nonprofits. But also, this seems like we could help other like individuals in this environment as well. So the you know, we talk a lot about wanting to help with culture and engagement and wellness. That's all part of what we do through the furniture and design, the related design services that we offer.
For sure.
So 3-pillar foundation. It has a name and everything. It's got a website being developed. It's just we're getting there. I'm trying to get it set up with its 50c3.
Yeah.
So the aim of it is to help provide those environments for the initial goal was for nonprofit organizations. So as you know, nonprofits work typically in not the most ideal physical environment, right? They're using old furniture. They're in space that they're all crammed into and things like that because they're spending their capital on doing what they do for the community. And we do believe in the fact that if you are working in an awesome environment, that you are going to be more productive. You are going to be, you know, there's going to be a wellness aspect to it and things like that. So our goal with 3-pillar was to go into some of these nonprofits and, you know, renovate their space, have a big contest, kind of like Extreme Home Makeover.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So go in and run a contest every year where someone wins something, but then throughout the year, be able to provide, you know, maybe free design service and then furniture at cost or something. You know, like I said, we're still working through this model. But I think, you know, what you're talking about is absolutely true. That you may be living in an environment that for whatever reason, that's not ideal. And then you need to go to work and be productive, or you need to be able to work from home and you can't, you don't have the resources to be able to do that. So I think we could probably, you know, that fit right in with what we're trying to do with 3-pillar is to be able to help make those things happen for individuals as well.
Yeah, I just think it goes both ways. You know, you're only productive as you're going to be from the environment that you come from.
Well,
and so,
exactly. We can't compartmentalize, you know, it's not like you have a personal life and your home life, and then you have your work life. Yeah, those are two separate things, but your thoughts and your feelings and what's happening to you day in and day out affects both. You know, when you have a bad day at work and you snap at your spouse or you snap at your kids when you get home, you know, that you're affecting both parts of your life just by living how you live. So absolutely.
No, that's really cool. Do you suspect, and I'm speaking this is going to be another trilogy thing that's going to happen. So when it happens, right? She makes sure she sends me a little text or email or something. I truly believe that you guys do so well, just the mental component of just work services, work or, furnishing. Like I know you guys do all that fancy stuff, but hearing you talk about just the mental capacity of like how this has impacted so many people. And I've heard Courtney Thomas, she was on here last week from a New House Shelter, and just really not assuming that when you don't see anybody at work, not just with domestic violence related, but just anything in life, a death of an animal or just simple things, it really impacts people and how they cross paths, and thinking about you guys and how those things play hand in hand with, the simple as the desk that I sit at makes me work better. Right. I mean, who would have ever thought? And so from my standpoint, we don't value that enough. And I think we're just so used to just adapting to what we have and making it work and just brushing over it and not realizing that, like if I just, have a better chair to sit in, that would just make all of the difference in the world. And probably I wouldn't be at the chiropractor a lot.
Well, it might eliminate some issues over here so that you could focus your energy over here. The mental health aspect of anything is important to me. I just, like you said, so many people, I've actually snapped at a customer service person on the phone or something. Just, it escalates. Time Warner, I'm talking to you. It escalates, and I have actually come back and I've said, I'm sorry, I've had a bad day and I'm taking it out on you. I know it's not your fault. You're not the person making the decisions, or you're not, whatever. But I think, again, it goes back to my give people grace comment earlier, is that everyone right now is suffering some level of anxiety. And it's wearing, then you've got the mental capacity of just everyone is in your face at home. If you do have roommates or spouse or, significant others, kids, things like that. Then on the flip side of that, if you are living alone, just the stress and the anxiety of not having anyone around. I mean, that's also a mental aspect. So I just... Again, it all comes down to kind of that breathe and just take everything in stride and as best you can. I know it's just find somebody to talk to, I guess, if things get really stressful. But the mental aspect is super important.
Yeah. My last question, and then I'll let you and Bryce say free flow, just some last minute things that might be in your mind, some encouragement about working from home and getting ready for this transition. It's Happy Cinco de Mayo Day. Do you think that, do you think that people should start intentionally, right? Because if we don't make space for it in our work environments, we'll never have the office filled. And what I mean by that is it's Mental Awareness Health Month. And so we need a lot of counseling, I think, in this time. And so should workplaces adapt to people like Trilogie to start preparing for, hey, we need to have this, office dedicated to, counseling, or just like, I mean, I know that people probably already do this, right? Like, I'm sure you can go to the nurse, every company or some bigger companies have like wellness centers and all of those things, but I don't really feel like we take that stuff seriously. We say, we have it, and it's just a policy thing. And then we never really enforce it or, even really give that information to our employees, especially for bigger companies. And so now what we're seeing is a huge disruption, regardless of how you look at it, on a lower level, all the way to the higher level for executives like yourself. And so if people like Courtney doesn't make the changes at the top, then we would never get to the bottom to have somebody like Bryce say, all right, like, I need a half a day. Like, I need to go sit in her office. You know what I mean? So how do we talk about, or how do we encourage, not to put all that on, work life spaces and construction people, but just have that conversation about, have you guys thought about this aspect?
Oh, for sure. So, many times people are putting in what we call quiet rooms or phone booth rooms. And they're doing it more as a place that is somewhere where if you do work in an open floor plan and you need to make a private phone call, you can go do that. We have been talking about and pushing it more that there needs to be like a wellness room or a, meditation room or something. If you just need to go take an hour and sit in there or even 5 minutes and just run through a quick Headspace or Breathe app or something to kind of get your head on straight. But you're right. If leaders aren't focused on it and talking about it and allowing it to happen in the office, then it's not going to happen, or I'm not going to say it won't happen. It'll just be more difficult. It's the same thing with culture. If the culture isn't being led and created from the leaders, then it's much more of a struggle to keep your employees, kind of motivated and engaged. So I think in terms of and May is Mental Health Month, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that it's just more conversations being had about it. And I do believe really over the last probably year, 2 years, talking about mental health and mental health awareness has become much more, there's been more conversations being had as opposed to just not talking about it. And it's, the elephant in the room. I try to practice an open system with my team. We're small. We're a small team of 4 of us locally, and we have 1 remote person. But to really be like, look, if you're having a day and you need it, just take it. I don't care. What was it a couple of weeks ago, Bryce? I was over it. I was over the week. It had been horrible. And I said, I'm Friday, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm not answering my phone. I'm not checking my email. I'm taking the day off. And I could tell that this, like other people like Bryce and Katie and Megan, because we know each other so well that really just even a text message conversation, I could tell, I can judge moods. I think we all can. Yeah. And everybody just take the day. Like, everything will still be here when we get back on Monday. It's not, not a big deal. And they said, thank you, because everyone needed it. And so I just think that you need to be, as leaders, we need to be mindful of the fact that we have stressors that we're feeling. Our employees definitely have stressors that they're feeling too that might be different.
Yeah, I heard somebody say, be a boss that you would want to report to.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not, and my career, as you are, I have a lot of room to grow and a lot of things to experience along the way. But I think that makes such a huge difference if, people were just to implement just a basic relationship level of just, what's going on? Like, did your dog pass? Like all of those things. And then I'm able to come in and effectively perform, and all that furniture we paid good money for, it'll get good use.
Right. If you think about it, if you have someone who does have the death of a pet, the death of a family member, or just whatever might go on, do you want them at work being not productive or feeling like they have to be there? And then it's just that, I don't want to say contagious, but it's like people can feel that when someone's not really wanting to be there or they shouldn't be there. And so, but it also takes that stress off of your employee. If they understand that they can call you and they can say, look, I can't come in tomorrow, or I need a day or two, or, and they don't feel like they're going to get in trouble or that they might lose their job or something like that. We don't have any sort of sick day policy. If you're sick, you're sick. Just take the day off. I don't want you there because I don't want to get sick. Right. We don't have a vacation policy. If you want a day off, take a day off. Like,
Courtney, you about to have some people emailing you like, girl, can you hire me, girl?
Because that's how I am. And that's how Flex Friday started in the summer. It's
what? Flex Friday?
Yeah, so years ago, I was like, I don't necessarily want to work every Friday over the summer, right? Because it's summertime and you want to be at the lake, or you want to be going on little mini vacations, just whatever. Or just being outside at the pool. And, but I didn't feel like I could be like, hey, I'm just going to take Fridays off in the summertime. See you guys on Monday. I didn't think that was cool. So I just said, if we have our work done and you don't have anything that's like an emergency or needs to get done, then you can work from wherever. I don't care. Work from the lake, work from the golf course, work from, your bed. I don't care. But I know I wanted that. So I gave that to my employees, and we've been doing it for years now.
Courtney, you're amazing. Bryce, any last minute things?
Yeah, so I definitely want to give some shout outs to Courtney during this quarantine time. She's definitely made us, we have a Monday meeting via Google Hangouts, and we have a Friday meeting. So Monday we set our goals for the week. Friday we follow up with the goals and what we did, and we talk about maybe some struggles or things that we did really well and what came up. So that as a whole it just helps keep us on track, because typically we would have a once a week meeting. And now I get to see her twice a week. Because she does it. Some people don't want to see their boss, but I do. Like when I was looking for a job, I said, I want to work for someone that I want to see all the time that I can learn from. So I love seeing Courtney wherever she is.
With no makeup and my hair like, whoa.
That's love right there. That's love.
And another thing is that, Kiona, I know that you and I met because we both, I think, love serving the community as a whole and giving back. And she allows me to do that with my 9,000 things that I do outside of work.
Very active.
Yeah.
But I love it. And one of the times I was the most proud to work for Courtney was when the quarantine hit.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, anyone that needs office furniture, we have a warehouse full of furniture, please just message us and come get it. That just really showed that she is all about the community. And we had people from all over the city. We had people from way out south. We had people from west, east, everyone came. I mean, my desk is gone and I'm happy about it. I'm you know what? Someone's using it.
Take my desk.
It's making their life easier. Go ahead. I don't care. I would rather someone else be more productive. I know that I can be productive in any environment I'm in. So if someone needs any office equipment, that means a lot that we could do that for them. So, and I know that you've got some office equipment from Trilogie as well.
And right now, y'all sitting on it. Just talking, right as you're speaking. I don't. What's the name of the orange one that I have, Bryce? That I really like.
The Sully.
The Sully.
Yeah. Oh, the Sully.
Man, this thing's been a game changer. I'm just love this little thing. I thank you guys so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I truly think that you guys are going to be in high demand. And I'm not just saying this because I know you guys. I'm saying it, Courtney, I don't know you. I know Bryce. My relationship stands with him. But just seeing and hearing you talk today, the things that you shared, you can't make that stuff up. And so it really shows that your heart is for people. To make sure that they have the right things in life to be productive and to fulfill the wellness aspect of it. And so that makes a huge, huge difference. Thank you for loaning me some furniture. I will be returning it, FYI. So you don't have to come hunt me down, but I think what you guys are doing at Trilogie is amazing. Bryce is so blessed to be there, and I'm grateful for his friendship as well. I always tell him that. We text all the time. So you heard it here up next, and thank you both so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Kiona.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.